big news today, wasn't it? Big news. Labour has unveiled new plans to tackle the migrant crisis. Anyone hopeful that they'll crack it? No? Come on, must have one optimist in. No. OK. Anyway, so here are Shabana Mahmood's plans, or at least some of them anyway, to tell judges to prioritise public safety, so our safety, over ECHR rulings, what they think the ECHR might say. She's also, apparently, going to say that Boris Wave migrants won't be able to claim benefits for around 10 years. Deport more criminals as well. That'd be nice, wouldn't it, I suppose? Even if their sentence is under a year. So at the moment, there's a bit of an area where I think if you get a sentence that's under a year, then it's not any automatic deportation. So she's going to look at changing that. Apparently, it's all according to today's reports. Make asylum permits temporary. Now, this is part of what you might have heard of copying the Denmark model. So apparently in Denmark, you have to basically keep reapplying for your asylum setup. So, OK, there you go. Make them reapply. Apparently, she's also going to say that this is for migrants now, not illegal migrants, that you must be in full-time employment, you must speak English, and yes, crucially, just deport more people in general who overstay. So there we go. Well, it all sounds quite good, doesn't it? Until, of course, you do remember that the Home Secretary is the woman who travelled to a Greek island in 2015 and did a video welcoming illegal immigrants as they touched down on European soil.
Lesbos, where boats have been coming in all day. Around 30 boats have arrived already today. There's a couple of charitable organisations on the ground here. One of them is offering immediate medical assistance.
All right, so good news, though, that she wants judges to prioritise our safety over the ECHR, but good luck with that, because we have got activist judges. Some of them have let paedophiles, rapists and murderers stay in Britain. Some of them also used to work in the immigration sector themselves, didn't they? But she does say that she wants to prioritise our safety. Well, better late than never, because just yesterday, an Iranian small boat migrant was sentenced for raping a 15-year-old girl in a park in Oxford. She says that she wants to increase deportations. Good luck, though, because here was a recent deportation attempt. I'm here in Peckham, where protesters have sat in front of a bus. They've slashed the tyres of it and they're barricading themselves in front of it now in an attempt to stop it taking migrants from a hotel nearby on board the Bibi Stockholm. Yep, so that was about 18 months ago or so, that, wasn't it? There loads of people gathered to try and stop that deportation bus. They slashed the tyres, and I seem to remember there being a few MPs on the left who supported that, so there we go. But this is what's currently waiting in France as well. Good stuff, yes, and we did a report yesterday, didn't we, about them running through Northern Town, so they're on the way. I think most Labour MPs would probably rather give that lot a hug instead of deporting them, so good luck, Shabana. Let's get the views of my wonderful audience and my wonderful panel as well. Adam, I'm going to start with you on this. So, go on. Do you think that Shabana Mahmood's plans will work?
Anyone that believes this woman's rhetoric needs their head testing, because at the end of the day, we have had this rhetoric ever since the general election. We've had Keir Starmer only 3 months ago tweet that he's going to detain and deport every illegal immigrant that comes across. We are seeing record numbers enter this country. Since the one-in, one-out scheme, I think it's 13,000 in and 141 out. That is laughable. It's just for headlines. They've got no will to get these people deported. When they say that they've deported record amounts of people, we're talking overstayers like Brazilians, Vietnamese that work in nail bars, not these sort of people that are crossing the channel. We've got Germany, Austria that are deporting Syrians and Afghans. They're not worried about sending them back to these war zones. At the end of the day, we need to get tough. And we've got a Prime Minister that is a human rights lawyer. There is zero chance that Labour are going to do this, and people should not fall for this propaganda.
OK, all right. Well, just on that as well, by the way, in terms of following the Danish model, Denmark, you know, when Syria overthrew Bashar al-Assad and the bloke who used to be a massive jihadi took over, it was declared safe. And they decided to send back people who were on a asylum visa from Syria. They said, well, if you're saying it's a safe country, then you can go back to Syria then, can't you? So if she means that, then presumably we're going to be sending back some Syrians as well. Can I go to the bloke on the front row? Is that all right? And then we'll open it up to the rest of the panel. What would you like to say about all this, sir?
Well, I'm Andrew Dobson. I'm from your neck of the woods in Kendal, Cumbria.
Strong part of the world, mate. Well done. The Westmoreland Gazette, fabulous local newspaper. Yeah.
I'm 78 years old. I've never seen so much hypocrisy in any government during my entire life. They are not going to stop the boats, it's obvious. And I totally support Adam in what he's said in the past on previous programmes, that he is concerned about the safety of his daughters on the streets. Well, I'm afraid it's too late for me, because I've got 2 daughters and they've both been attacked. One on a tube train and the other on the streets in Clapham. Now, they're not stupid girls. They're from King's College. They're university graduates, but they're still frightened to death of walking the streets alone at any time during the day in London. And people like Sadiq Khan, the mayor, and the government are denying it. What planet are they on? Because they're certainly not on the same planet I'm on. And ask my daughters what they must think. They're frightened to death. And it's not just about me and my daughters, it's about everybody's daughters and girls and women on the streets in this country at the moment. Are you frightened? Do you feel safe on the streets? What about you, sir? Do you feel safe? And they're asking me if you're entitled to a family life when they come here. You can see by my shirt, this is from the nuclear submarine Conqueror.
Yeah.
What do you think of a family life I had when I was out there serving my country on a nuclear submarine?
Yeah, I mean, well done for it. Thank you for obviously your service. Very, very sorry to hear about what happened to your to your daughters there as well. I do hope they're okay, and I'm sure we all share that sentiment. So, Linda, do you believe that Shabana Mahmood's plans are workable? Do you think that she's going to do, going to crack this? Do you think, Linda?
I think that the fact is, it's not so much that there's a plan. There is a plan. It's will she implement it? That's the problem. I mean, the plan looks okay on paper, but we know no plan survives first contact with the enemy. Isn't that what someone said? It's much smarter than me a long time ago. The fact of the matter is, the key is in the implementation. The reason why Denmark has had a lot of success is because they've driven home that plan and made it work. We can't just follow the Danish model thinking we need a piece of paper that's the same as theirs. We've got to act like they act if we want to solve the situation. And just to say, I'm so sorry to hear about your daughters. I have a daughter at university in London, and she crosses right from Greenwich to Richmond, and it frightens me all the time as to what she might meet. And although I can't comment on a live case, I did go to school 3 streets away from the stabbing in Uxbridge, so it's something that hits you hard when it hits your community. But I will say the plan looks okay on paper, but that's not the point, is it? The point is, can it be implemented?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And Krista, I'm just going to bring you in on this before we go to Barry. One of the issues with Shabana Mahmood's plan, in my view, is that she's saying, well, she's going to instruct the judges to put our safety first. Well, we know that there's been several judges who, of course, well, loads actually, who have previously just worked pro bono for like asylum charities, etc. I just don't really see that happening.
Yeah, I think there are 2 issues here, and I think, Linda, you touched on them. The idea is good, actually, and if she implements this, I think that we should support her doing that. I think that when this absolutely crazy far-left socialist complete nut job incompetent government actually comes up with a good idea, that it's magnanimous of us to actually support that idea. What it's exposed, though, so as you outlined, the Denmark plan, as soon as there was a flood of migrants that came from Syria or Afghanistan, all those places, they said, right, we're stopping asylum being permanent. You're going to have to reapply. We're actually going to get rid of ghettos. We're going to stop you being able to come here for a permanent amount of time. You've got to get a job. You've got to learn the language. Even if you get a speeding ticket, that can jeopardise you keeping your asylum. Now, what that shows is that they are supposedly part of the ECHR. And we have this big debate about the ECHR. What we have had in the recent years here in the United Kingdom is a political decision not to do something about small boats. Because Denmark, part of part of Europe, part of the ECHR, were able to. And even though the UN have criticised them, they have stuck to their guns, and their applications for asylum have gone from somewhere like 10,000 to 2,000. They have absolutely cut the numbers massively. So you're absolutely right. Will activist judges mean that we do that here in the UK? I don't know. I'm cynical. And will the people behind Shabana Mahmood, who are you know, they can't even allow a small cut to benefits to go through the backbenchers of the Labour Party. So whether they will allow something like this to go through, I am extremely cynical. But the idea itself is actually good.
OK, I'm just going to say this now. I'll be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure why I have to say this, because I don't think anything like this was said. But anyway, the Huntington alleged attacker is not a migrant. So there we go. I'm not entirely sure I was relevant. But anyway, Barry, there's a lot of people to come back on here. Yeah.
Well, indeed. Look, I think the first thing we should all do, sir, is to thank you for your service on HMS Conqueror.
Absolutely.
I noticed the badge and the T-shirt when I walked in, and I thought there's somebody who's done his turn. And of course, as Linda says, to express our sorrow for what your daughters have been through. I don't know whether their attackers were apprehended. I don't know whether they were illegal migrants. The sad tragedy is that there are so many rapes in this country, not just by, I'm afraid to say, not just by illegal migrants, and far too many, and we need to clamp down on that. But moving on to the issue of this Danish-style migration policy, I mean, I'm glad Christo said what he did, because these are measures that the government is taking which seem to have worked in reducing the number of illegal migrants in Denmark. And if they can be replicated here, it may perhaps do the same. I think there's a lot of sense in saying to people, and actually the facts show this, that many people who come as asylum seekers from unsafe countries like Syria, where there was wars and so on going on, when things are better, they do want to go back, many of them, to their own country and be part of it.
Though?
Well, many of them have. I think that the proof is
I know that a lot
in
of
the
people
fact
went
that
to
many
fight
have.
for ISIS have come back to Britain. I don't know.
And a lot have gone on holiday, by the way, and come back. That's the other thing.
They shouldn't have the choice.
But I think the point is this, that the Danish system has said, once your country is safe, then you will go back. And so that's why they've put in these temporary 2-year reviews, 3-year reviews.
Yeah. All right.
And that seems to me a sensible way of proceeding. But Adams sounded as if he didn't even want this to work. I mean,
of course I want it to work, Barry. I'm seeing the devastation in my community.
Yeah, but in that case, I think Christo's line is a lot better to say, well, look, these seem like sensible proposals. Let's see if they work. Let's hope they're implemented, rather than say, well, it's never going to happen.
Let's remember, Denmark is a left-wing government. Now, if we do this sort of thing here, Reform are called Nazis and far right. At the end of the day, the left don't seem to want to tackle this problem, and I don't believe them. But what happens when all these countries like Denmark get tough on asylum seekers and illegal immigration? Guess where they want to come? They want to come here. So they are driving them here. We need to do something fast. We need to get the ones that are here out, and we need to stop paying them benefits and for these hotels, because this country is going downhill very fast.
OK. All right.